This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
Like the materials extracted from the oil fields, it's becoming clear that high-speed fiber internet is a commodity that powers our world.
It's not so pretty today, but this building off Wenatchee Avenue was once the Wenatchee City Jail, and for decades after that, it was a family home.
The Washington State Patrol is holding its first ever Washington State Missing Persons Day this Saturday.
The Moses Lake Chief softball team finds itself in its 7th consecutive state appearance after tearing its way through the Big 9 championship.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News. And it starts now.
Like the materials extracted from the oil fields, it's becoming clear that high-speed fiber internet is a commodity that powers our world. That notion was echoed during Tuesday's fiber line ribbon-cutting ceremony in George. Newly installed fiber optic line in the town of George was activated 3 weeks ago. The event welcoming the technology was hosted by Grant PUD, the organization that owns and operates the county's fiber infrastructure. But the business who made the recently completed project in the tiny town possible is Microsoft. So why would a Fortune 500 company that's made billions in the tech business dole out $250,000 to bring fiber to the small town?
Microsoft really, our bigger scope is that we need to expand broadband everywhere, but we need to start in our backyard. And George is our backyard to our data center in Quincy, so it was important for us to try to find some kind of partnership or try to figure out how to get it out here.
What we learned from here, we have applied in Virginia, in Wyoming, we've applied in Des Moines, in urban and in rural settings, and deployed data center delivered affordable broadband in all those communities based on what we learned. This to me is an important milestone because it represents the beginning of a continued relationship with us and your community to continue, as Thomas mentioned, to do more.
According to Grant PUD fiber manager Russ Breathauer, the gesture is appreciated by the utility district and the 252 customers who will reap the benefit, including George Elementary, where the ceremony was held.
Well, in the past when we've gone to small towns, we haven't done a lot of promotion, and we were actually almost kind of secretive about what we were doing, which is kind of weird, but that was the advice we were getting at the time. And so we saw take rates that were terrible. We've learned from that. We have an awesome public affairs group that is promoting everything. We've got service providers excited about it. Microsoft's excited about it. So when we turned on the switch here in George 3 weeks ago now, we actually have 11% take rate already.
That's double the take rate seen in towns comparable in size. To compare, Breathauer says 6 years after the fiber line in Warden was activated, the backbone only had a 12% take rate. So why all the success in a community minuscule in size? It's all thanks to local internet service providers like iFIBER Communications.
And it's really cool here in George. I looked at the stats this morning. Of our 14 service providers that are on the network, 4 of them have obviously been actively marketing here in George and are competing for the business, which just makes it better service for the end user, better prices for the end user. And it's a world-class network that they're out there promoting. It's not, the PD's promoting it too, but the service providers are out there chasing the business. And it's a win-win for everybody. Since we're using public dollars to do it, it just makes sense that it's open access.
I'm Sean Goggins for iFIBER 1 News. This segment is brought to you by...
Change doesn't have to be complicated. With a low-profile microwave hood combination that's ready to install right out of the box. It fits in the same space as your under-cabinet hood, so you can get your microwave off the countertop and make space for the routines worth keeping. The low-profile microwave hood combination, from the #1 selling appliance brand in the USA.
Whirlpool Appliances, now available at more furniture in Ephrata.
It's not so pretty today, but this building off Wenatchee Avenue was once the Wenatchee City Jail, and for decades after that, it was a family home. Now it's a landlocked 2-story brick building in the town's historic district, and it's up for sale as is. The Duneen Family Trust, which represents the large ownership group, wants to make sure it goes to the right buyer for the right purpose.
My great-grandfather bought this back in 1924, and I think it was for like $58,000. So I don't know what that means in terms of today's money, but it was a lot of money in those days.
The equivalent of $1.8 million, to be precise. The building operated as a jail from 1906 to 1924, and then as the Doneen home, but it hasn't been occupied in perhaps 50 years.
My grandmother and my aunt and uncle, Larry Doneen, lived here, and the family would come down after church, and some of them had breakfast with them, and our grandmother was here, and we just came and went.
Property agent Glenda Travis showed Marlene and other family owners through the house last week. Luann Bromley and her daughter Morgan Supis were seeing inside the old family home for the first time.
It just helps you connect to know that 3 generations ahead of me were in these same walls, you know. So, yeah, it's important. And I enjoy the deep roots thing, and we've got deep roots, so.
Inside, some rooms are still closed off by heavy cell doors, and an upper door used to lead to the second floor of the neighboring courthouse. The courthouse site later became a single-story commercial property. Over the years, homeless people and others have managed to enter the building and left their marks. Any renovations would be up to the new owners, subject to historic preservation limits.
I'd hate to see it torn down. I really would. Yeah. Any old building and anywhere, you'd hate to see them torn down, and because then it's put up, it's replaced by something new and modern, and then the old stuff is lost it. Nobody knows.
Glenda Travis with Still Properties wants to gather community stories about the structure, and Wenatcheeites with long memories are welcome to email her. Of course, she's also welcoming inquiries from potential buyers. Bidding on the old jail property remains open through July 31st. The minimum price is $200,000. Jefferson Robbins, iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by
Your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
The Washington State Patrol is holding its first ever Washington State Missing Persons Day this Saturday. The occasion is being organized by the Patrol's Missing and Unidentified Persons Unit to create awareness for the state's missing citizens and their families. The State Patrol is staging an on-site event at its headquarters in Olympia as part of the day, where it will also be providing the family members of those who are missing with a way to check on the status of their loved one's case through local and state law enforcement. Additional staff will be available during the event to obtain DNA samples from the relatives of those missing for entry into the National Missing Persons Database to cross-reference with unidentified individuals who have been found out of state. The patrol currently lists nearly 650 missing persons cases in Washington, which places it 4th highest in the nation by state. Across the U.S., more than 600,000 people go missing each year, according to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, and roughly 2/3 of those individuals are age 21 and under, according to the National Crime Information Center. The list even includes infant children who are less than 12 months of age. Statistics regarding why people go missing are altogether impossible to quantify. However, by definition, a missing person is categorized as someone whose whereabouts are unknown, regardless of circumstance, and can include those who have gone missing either voluntarily or against their will. Reporting for iFIBER 1 News, I'm Chris Hansen.
The Moses Lake Chiefs softball team finds itself in its 7th consecutive state appearance after tearing its way through the Big 9 championship. Despite the consistent trips to state, the Chiefs haven't won a game in state since 2014. Part of that is due to the Big 9 conference being a particularly weak conference when it comes to softball. From the beginning of the schedule-making process, the Chiefs have been preparing to advance in state. Moses Lake was able to cut several conference games and replace them with top-notch competition, such as Lake City, Idaho, East Valley of Yakima, University, and Mount Spokane. The team is confident that these games have helped them prepare for state.
Playing them has helped us immensely so that we are ready for the type of pitching we're going to face. Honestly, when we know we need to do good, we flip the switch and we dial in and we give it everything we have, and that's what we need to do at state.
Many of the girls on the team play on traveling ball clubs and have competed with the girls they'll see in the tournament, and the Chiefs know that they can hang with the best.
we are as good as the other teams, and I think that we are going to do just fine because we have came together, we bonded more, we can play together, we know each other's weaknesses and our strengths, and that's really helped us out a lot this year.
First game of the state tournament will be against Redmond. The game will begin on Friday at noon at the Dwight Merkel Sports Complex in Spokane. I'm Adam Chikoski for iFIBER 1 Sports.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.